So here's a thought. I'm live streaming with our 20,000 subscriber special. Shout out to everybody who's live hanging out with your boy right now. Much love to y'all. It's been super great. And I even launched a Discord server and a Patreon. So if you guys like to check those out below and help us become Discord partners and stuff, that'd be really, really cool. Shout out to the people that are already there. You can check it out in the link in the top of the description box. So that being said, I think it's time for us to react to Overwatch versus TF2, but explained with food. You guys have been asking me to watch this video from Doug for a long time, since the first video actually. And the only thing different about this one is that I'm actually a fan of Doug. I've watched a lot of Doug's videos, but I've just never watched this one. I started to a long time ago, but I ended up reacting to the first Lazy Purple video instead back then. So now it's finally time to see what all the hubbub is about, and maybe even react to some more Doug videos. But if you guys haven't already, make sure you check out the link in the description box below to check out this video for yourself. Please support Doug. His work is freaking great, and he's just one of the better guys on this platform. So without further ado, let's get into the reaction. Okay, Overwatch versus TF2, but explained with food. I'm excited. I've seen one of these before, so excited to see one that's about a little bit of our subject matter. Let's get into it. Preemptively like the video because it's Doug, you know? So let's go ahead, see what all the hubbub's about.
I think Overwatch versus TF2 is like making dessert. Playing Overwatch is like you're baking a gourmet cake. There's 6 of you, you're in a
Hold on,
kitchen
you think
together,
so?
and every chef has one specific cake ingredient that they're adding. The tank puts in the flour. Then the DPSs add the sugar and the eggs and the oil. Then the supports
Whoa. Why the freak did it just become 240p and still say it's on 1080? Why did it just do that?
Baking soda and the chocolate that brings it all together. All 6 chefs here must work in combination to nail this recipe, and if they do, this cake will be one of the best you've ever eaten. That's Overwatch. Team Fortress 2 is like eating a candy bar. Candy bars just taste great on their own. Like, you don't need any other foods to make a Snickers taste good. But okay, let's say you're eating a Snickers.
He's kind of right about that. Oh, I think I get the point he's trying to make. He's trying to make that Overwatch is collectively good when all the elements comprising it are good too. But TF2, while it may only be a Snickers bar, it's good regardless. It doesn't need anything else. You don't need good teammates. You don't need good this and that. You don't need a good computer or anything like that. TF2 is good regardless, you know? So it's like, I think I kind of get what he's trying to say.
And then you see 2 other guys eating TF2 candy bars, and so you say to them, hey, let's team up, let's merge our candy bars into one super dish. And they're like, yeah. So you throw in your Snickers, and that guy throws in Dem M&Ms, and he throws in a Meta Cookie, and that guy adds Hershey's Weapons Guy, and then, well, then it just tastes like a big chocolatey mess. Here's the thing, a Snickers by itself tastes like a big
Okay, kind of lost me a little bit.
So does Hershey syrup. Combining candy bars together doesn't make them taste any better. It's still just a pile of delicious chocolate either way. That's TF2. So
okay, I think I kind of get what he's saying.
why are these games so different? Well, Overwatch characters are fundamentally designed to stay next to each other. If you want the protection from a tank's shield or to be healed by a support, you have to stand next to the tank or the support. It's just like the ingredients of a cake. They are designed to taste better when you mix them together. So if you're Junkrat, you're going to be more powerful by sticking with your team and utilizing their buffs. This is true of ultimates too. They are designed to be far more powerful when you coordinate them with your teammates. So ults primarily serve to reward teamwork. This is what makes Overwatch so satisfying, because if your team works well together, you're rewarded by becoming substantially more powerful, and it's a rush. So
it's true
is what makes Overwatch fun, but these super powerful team synergies also mean you have very limited freedom to play this game your own way. You really can't be effective with a solo playstyle in Overwatch because by design, you are far less powerful without your teammates' buffs.
Yeah, the exact same thing could be said of Valorant, just to kind of tie it in with something that I know well. It's very hard to have your own kind of fun in Valorant. It is very, very team and synergy oriented. You can just throw 5 duelists or DPS in if you really want to, but you will inherently have a harder time because you can't contest some things. You don't have a controller to smoke off the site to make it harder for people to just run in. You don't have a sentinel that can block the entryway, you know, or even resurrect a character. You don't have anybody that can do that, you know? So it inherently is harder to do that. But I don't get that vibe with TF2.
This gets worse when the metagame has a clearly defined optimal composition like dive. In this case, the synergies between specific characters are so strong
Persona
that you are
5.
at a substantial disadvantage if you play anything else. Hey, you guys want to make a red velvet cake today? I love making red velvet. What the fuck? No! Chocolate cake is the only dessert in the meta. I'm reporting you. The second big problem is that because teamwork is so crucial to winning, if you have just one or two bad teammates, that can ruin the entire game. Like if you were making a cake and your tank carefully adds the flour, and then you perfectly add in sugar, and then this dude's just eating Han's Oreos. Now the entire cake you were making is gonna taste awful because that guy is refusing to actually do his part of the recipe. And since you get random teammates game to game, it's totally hit or miss of actually having a team that coordinates well and has fun.
Exactly, because like I get these team-based games that do this and everything, and it is important to, you know, in turn, you know, TF2 is also a game like that. Realistically, you would want a medic. Realistically, you would want a heavy. You know, you want these certain tiers of characters or classes of characters that, you know, people can work well and synergize with. You know, if you don't have a medic on the team, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be really hard to win. But at the end of the day, though, you know, you can get away with more in TF2. You know,
the meals cause horrible vomiting, but the other half it's like the best steak you've ever had. But people keep eating Overwatch because god damn dude, the rush when your team pulls it all off is just incomparable. Like every chef on the team just nailed their job, and we made a cake so good it made Jeff Kaplan cry. In TF2, most characters aren't designed to benefit their teammates in any way. Soldier and Demo and Scout, etc. don't have any core moves that benefit their teammates, and so you can run off on your own without being any fundamentally weaker. And this means your effectiveness as a player is only dictated by you, not by your teammates' behaviors. TF2 characters are candy bars. They taste great on their own. They don't need anyone else's flavors. Engineer and Medic are the two obvious exceptions here. They are very much designed to benefit teammates and help you win,
those two.
Winning the game just isn't really a priority in TF2. People don't really care about the objective itself. It just serves as the dedicated spot where everybody's going to blow each other up. The game almost discourages you from trying too hard to win by frequently scrambling the teams. Or even if you and two other guys are like, hey, you want to team up and defend the objective? Yeah, that sounds fun. Hey, cut that out. Auto balance. So inevitably, the map is full of spies and pyros and snipers roaming around having whatever little adventures pop up, and 90% of the time, you'll never properly coordinate with anyone. Don't get me wrong, teamwork is still really fun in TF2, but unlike Overwatch, it's not the entirety of the game, and instead, you have this incredible freedom to play in whatever style you want. Plus, TF2 maps are usually 12v12 or more, whereas Overwatch
with the 6v6 I think Overwatch is a lot more compact than TF2, and I think in a way that makes TF2 a bit more accessible, because doing bad in Overwatch can be like being bad in Overwatch basically makes it to where you can lose. The whole team can lose because you being bad. But more often than not, with the exception of like say NG and Medic, being bad in TF2 doesn't mean a loss for the team, because again, there's a lot of characters in TF2 that can just go off and do their own thing and have their own individual fun, you know?
Overwatch is only
Overwatch is 5v5 now in TF2.
6v6. This means that every individual Overwatch player has a larger impact on their team.
Overwatch actually has a huge audience still somehow.
The recipe and not be a dick. There are of course exceptions to all of this. Teamwork in TF2 is definitely effective when it's done well, and the competitive modes like Sixes or Highlander are a great example of this, and there's definitely some Overwatch players who do find success by playing separately from their teams. But the underlying design of these games funnels players into a teamwork mentality or a solo mentality, so that 90% of the time in Overwatch you need to stick to the recipe, and 90% of the time in TF2, you're in a Snickers dance party. Outside of teamwork, I think the games mostly differ in how you can customize your experience. For example, customizing each character. In TF2, they treat each character like a fruit. And let's say you taste each one, and then you go, man, I love apples. That's my favorite. I want to eat apples all day long. And TF2 goes, all right, well, I'm about to blow your fucking mind because we have different ways to eat apples. We got apple pie and apple sauce and baked apples and apple fritters and tons more. This is how TF2 classes work. There's only 9 classes, but each one has 3 changeable weapon slots with hundreds of possible combinations. So if I love the taste of Demo Banana, I can mix it up and swap in Scotch Resistance and now cover choke points. It's similar, but it's customized. Or now I swap in Sword Boots and I'm playing Demo Banana Night. And you're like, this is awesome. They took a food I loved, Demo Banana, and they're giving me different ways to cook that core.
Yeah, that's
flavor.
awesome.
Whereas Overwatch is like, you guys, we have 29 different fruits and veggies to choose from. And I'm like, oh my god, there are some really genuinely unique options here, like a McCree-cumber, or a Reaper Simmon, or a Wrecking Bell Pepper. Hey,
yeah, get out of here.
Overwatch doesn't give you multiple ways to cook each fruit. You're only allowed to eat them raw. So let's say you try them all out and you go, Widow Mango is my favorite fruit. I love this flavor. And you're having a great time eating Widow Mango, but you might say to Overwatch, hey, I love the flavor of Widow Mango. Could you give me some ways to customize my favorite fruit? And Overwatch says, here's a baguette.
Brigade.
Like, that's cool, man, but I really like Widow Mango. Like, I would love to eat that same flavor, but in different styles. Like, a new way to enjoy the food that I already like. And they're like, here's a durian.
Here's a durian.
Overwatch doesn't let you customize your favorite characters. Instead, they just introduce new characters altogether. This is actually a really great thing if you're a player who wants a large variety in fundamental playstyles. But it also means you might get tired of that hero that you really, really love a lot faster than you might otherwise. Even more broadly, TF2 lets the community customize the maps that you can play. When Valve released TF2, it's like they opened a restaurant and they said, hey, we made a bunch of food and here's our menu of dishes to choose from, but the kitchen's unlocked. Feel free to make whatever else you want. So everybody ran into the kitchen and went nuts. And over time, the community has cooked all sorts of insane new dishes for the TF2 menu. Like one dude went, you guys, I packed 10 scoops of ice cream into one bowl. I call it a 10x crit server. And another guy's like, I took soldier and pieces of toast and created jump maps. And you're like, what the fuck? That's actually delicious. And another dude's like, you guys, I took that sandwich and I made it really, really tall. And that's like a real thing that people play. It's called Higher Tower. It's just High Tower, but the tower is really tall now. So over the years, people took to map editor and custom servers and created crazy new genres like jump maps, Saxton Hail mod, randomizer, tons more. The community expanded TF2's restaurant menu to have almost infinite dishes to choose from, and this has increased the game's longevity and enjoyment. But when Overwatch opened their restaurant, they said, here's our menu of food, you can eat these specific things. And over time, they've added new items to the menu like 3v3 or brawls. And these dishes all taste great, but the point is that Overwatch, and only Overwatch, controls the entire menu. And as a result, it's a pretty limited menu. Like if you go in there and you try to order a 12v12 match, they will say, sorry, but 12v12 isn't on our menu. Why don't you try our 6v6? And I'm like, I have, man, and it's great, but I thought it'd be fun to make my own type of meal. And they're like, here's a durian. This isn't so much a flaw of Overwatch, it's just a big missed opportunity. They don't give the community tools to make unique maps and modes, and this unnecessarily limits the game's menu of options. And it's especially frustrating because Blizzard's older games did do this. Warcraft 3 is legendary because of custom maps. Blizzard made these incredible RTS ingredients and then said, hey, the kitchen door's unlocked, go make whatever you want. And so some frog started a 5v5 eating contest and literally invented Dota. And another dude invented tower defense and hero arenas and a million other iconic games. Warcraft 3 made the ingredients and the community made the menu. And it sucks when you see Overwatch's ingredients, which are so creative and cool, and you just like wonder what kind of amazing meals we might be eating if Overwatch just let us play with our food. At this point, I play more TF2, but it just depends on how I'm feeling, right? Like if it's the end of a long day and I want to dick around, play my favorite character, and not worry about teammates, then TF2 is the perfect experience for me. But Overwatch can be fucking awesome. The characters and ultimates are super creative, and if you have a great team, the feeling of working together and accomplishing a plan is one of the best feelings in gaming. Eating a gourmet cake is always going to taste better than eating a Snickers. It just really sucks if your cake has Hanzo in it. Hey, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed subscribing to my channel.
Oh, dude, that was such a good video, man. Like, okay, like I get Doug's videos are like all partially, they're all partially scripted, you know, because like a lot of his videos come from his streams that he does on Twitch. Again, check out Doug. Channel's freaking awesome. But like, it was really cool to see a fully scripted Doug video again, because it's been a long time since I've watched one that was fully scripted like that. I feel like in a way it's like one, I hadn't even considered that. Like, I feel like in a way, if Overwatch did what TF2 was doing with its with its community acceptance, I feel like Overwatch really could overtake TF2. But I feel like there's always gonna have that slight division, you know, because like they don't just let people go wild with their own thing, you know. And I feel like there's like, yeah, Overwatch 2 does have custom modes, but it's super limited, while in TF2 you could just go freaking nuts, as he said. You know, you could just do whatever you want, and that's freaking incredible. I feel like in a way Valorant has done a good job of doing what Overwatch and TF2 does, but meeting a good middle ground for them. So instead of if TF2 is a cake, say TF2 is a Snickers and Overwatch is a cake, Valorant feels like it's a cupcake in that department, or something like that, maybe, if that's a good analogy. It feels like it does what TF2 does in the sense to where it has very likable characters and makes them neat, but at the same time it also lets you, there's no community server and stuff like that with Valorant, so you're gonna get the sort of Overwatch treatment with it. But at the same time, there's no one way to play a character in Valorant. You know, what, like a Sage may just have to play the role of healing the team and stuff like that, or a Skye, but at the same time, Skye is an initiator on her own. You know, she can go and blind team, go ahead and blind enemies and be a wrecking, or a force to be reckoned with all on her own. Sage can be a battle Sage if she really wants to. Yeah, she can heal her team, or she could just be selfish and heal herself and destroy the whole team on her own too, you know? But more often than not, you don't see medics in TF2 doing that, you know? That's because that's not the role most people, you know, accept when going into medic, you know, in TF2. It is, again, it may be unfair to compare Valorant to either of those games, because one's a hero arcade shooter and one's a hero tactical shooter. And so, but in a way, well, Valorant does also have its arcade mode. It does have team deathmatch, which is just everybody going and doing whatever the freak they want. You know, it also has deathmatch, which is just a bunch of people in the lobby, everybody killing each other, and Valorant has that too. But battle, I'm sure battle mechs exist and stuff like that, but what I'm saying in the average lobby. But yeah, Valorant feels more like a funnier CSGO in a sense. CSGO is great and everything too, but to me, I mean, I'm really excited for Source 2, but at the same time, I feel like Valorant kind of has that sauce that CSGO doesn't have, in that sense, to where I'm attached to the characters in their world and stuff like that, because the lore and story in Valorant is really, really neat, man. The whole parallel universe thing and stuff like that, the alternate worlds thing, that's so cool to me. You know, it kind of, like, I mean, for TF2, it has the obvious, you know, clones thing, you know, that we just accept. And in this, Valorant actually goes out of its way to try to explain and give you a reason why this Phoenix on your team and there's a Phoenix on the other team. That Phoenix on the other team is from the parallel Earth, you know, and stuff. And I think that's really cool, you know. But I don't know why I'm making this a Overwatch versus TF2 versus Valorant thing. Again, I don't play many shooters. I mean, I play a lot of shooters, but Overwatch, TF2, and Valorant are definitely my big three. So I just like to compare them and stuff like that. But that's going to be it for this Overwatch versus TF2 but with food video. Make sure you guys check out the description box below to check out the video for yourself, because Doug deserves all the support in the world. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Lets you know whenever I go live with some more live streams, or when I go live with a new video. You can also hit the like button on the video. It lets me know you guys want more videos from more different kinds of creators that I haven't reacted to or played with before, etc. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce. Make sure you join the Discord server if you haven't already, link in the description. My name is KingdomAce. Remember, everyone, to play some games, have some fun, and enjoy your day today.